They want you to be confused. They want you to think it's you. They want you to think that you're bugging, that something is wrong with you at the moment when you're trying to tell them something is wrong with us, or you did something to me, or something is happening. Nah, they will confuse that whole thing. They will put the mirror in your face and say it's you. YouTube, what up? It's your boy Rudy, and I'm back with another video. Today we talking about how to deal with a narcissist as a Christian. Now, first, I want y'all to know I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I am in my master's degree right now for psychology. And I am definitely going to do the doctorate program to be a psychologist. But this right here is just based off of experience, right? This is just based off of the things that I went through and, you know, me realizing about narcissists or narcissistic ways or traits or people who act in this way, right? And it was also a part of my relationship with God, right? It was also a part of me getting closer to God because I actually went through this stuff and went through these things in my life while I was getting closer to God. And it's a few things that I learned that is real helpful, that really helped me, man. And God used it to help me. God used it in so many ways, and I want to actually share that with y'all, right? So how to deal with a narcissist as a Christian, how to deal with a narcissist in general. And it's a hard video because that experience was extremely hard, extremely hurtful, man. And I know y'all who may have a narcissist or someone who has extreme narcissistic traits in their personality or in their ways. I know it has to be hard for y'all because it was extremely hard for me. Extremely draining, man, extremely hurtful, man, just painful, man. I can't, it's crazy, like it's even hard to see. But I want to talk about one of the main things that I learned to do. So we know when it comes to a narcissist, right, they basically try to trick us. They basically do so many things that can be hard for people to see, right? They try to hurt us in so many ways while making themselves feel good, right? And one thing that I learned was they do not like to communicate. Now, this may be specific to covert, right? It may be specific to covert. Y'all can figure it out whether it's overt or covert, right? Because the overt one is more outwardly. They're more expressive, right? The covert one is less expressive, right? More passive aggressive. Well, I guess both of them are passive aggressive, but their passive aggressive ways, you know, really harm us, really hurt us. It can cause so much to our lives, right? It can cause so much stress, anxiety, depression, confusion, right? And I went through that, like not understanding what's going on. Like I can't understand this. Like this person acts like this in private, but they don't act like this in public. And why can't nobody see this? And you know what I mean? And I was confused because I didn't know what was going on. Like you say one thing and then they say another. They gaslighting you. They doing so many things. They're being extremely passive aggressive. And one key point, of course, we know insecurity, right? Because it's something on the inside of them. But one thing that we learned and I've learned is that they do not like to communicate. They do not like expressing. They don't like to communicate things that is going to show their vulnerability, that is going to show something that they might have did wrong, right? Because they want to be seen as such a great person, right? And we know once you get on their bad side, once you try to communicate with them, everything is let loose, right? And they're going to do it in the most passive aggressive, undercut type of way to get back at you. This is how they get at you, but it's hard to see. It is extremely hard to see because you don't know. They could be nice, nasty. You could ask them, yo, can you pick that up for me off the floor? And they'll be like, yeah, I'll pick it up. I got you, right? And then they walk straight by it, knowing you just asked. That's one way. That's just a small thing, right? But that's me trying to show y'all that's what it is, right? You could be reading a book, right? And they come in a room and then they making noise or they playing music and you're like, hey, you know, I'm reading. Can you you know, turn that down, or can you, you know, lower your tone or whatever? And they'll look at you and continue doing what they're doing, right? To hurt you, right? We know that. If you come up to them and you try to talk to them about something that's going on with y'all or something that they did to you, we know how this is going to go, right? We know either they're going to be defensive, right? They're going to try anything. They're going to come after you, right? If they know your weakness, they are going to use it for their advantage to make themselves feel good. We know this, right? But what do? That was the thing that took me the longest to figure out. What do? I want to communicate, right? Because as a Christian, you know I gotta love this person. I gotta understand this person, right? If I did something wrong, I gotta apologize. I gotta go to God. I need to pray about this, right? Of course, we need to give love, right? But what do? And that's one thing I had to figure out. And this one thing that I had to learn was to not say much, to not respond, to not react. We know that narcissists want us to react. They want a reaction out of you. So the key thing is to not to give it to them. The hard thing is learning that. The hard thing is also learning to not react, learning not to respond in the moment, learning to catch what they're trying to do. So one thing I learned was I had to be strategic. I had to figure these things out. When I do this, this happens. And then I try to communicate and they act like nothing happened, or they will do anything, bro. They will try to make you look stupid. They will try to do anything to hurt you, right? So the thing is that you have to catch what they are doing. You have to be ahead of the game, because to them it's like a game, right? It's crazy, but it's like a game. So you have to set up a strategy. And this is something that I had to learn. And this is something that I learned from God, right? Because he wants to protect us, because he loves us. He also wants us to love others. He also wants us to love our enemies, right? Obviously, right? Love those who persecute you. Pray for those who persecute you. Give to those. Give to them. And in a way, I used to feel like I can't love this person. I don't want to love this person. Really, it made the worst come out of me. It made me want to react. It made me want to fight. It made me want to do bad things, right? But God doesn't want that. So what do? What did I learn to do? I learned it to not react. I learned that at any moment, this person can do anything. And you don't want to live like that, right? That's how anxiety grows. That's how they get you. They put fear inside of you. They want you to be scared. They want you to not say anything to them. They want you to not come to them and say there's an issue. They don't want nothing to be seen as bad. They don't want nothing that they did to be seen as bad. They want you to shut up. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be confused. They want you to think it's you. They want you to think that you're bugging, that something is wrong with you at the moment when you're trying to tell them something is wrong with us, or you did something to me, or something has happened. Nah, they will confuse that whole thing. They will put the mirror in your face and say it's you. And in a way, it is. In a way, it's because you can't see it. You're blind, right? But you know you ain't stupid. You know something is actually happening. But what do? Because you got to protect yourself. Because if you don't protect yourself, you're going to continue to react. You're going to continue to respond. You're going to continue to do the very thing that they want you to do. Because it's like you're a puppet. You're the narcissistic supply. You're like a drug to them. They need you to react to make themselves feel better. They need to do something to you to make themselves feel better. But you don't want that, and you can't let that happen. So you have to learn to not react. So when they come around you, you need to be strategic. When they speak, when they do anything, when they do the things that you know that they're going to do, instead of responding, instead of going to them, instead of letting them know, because that's what they want you to do, don't respond. That's what I said. Don't respond. You know how they bring up in the videos, no contact? You really got to do that. Yes, this could be with your parents. This could be with your brothers, your sisters, friends. You know, you could really get rid of them like it's nothing, right? Quick. But with people, you got to learn this, right? People that you can't get out of your life, you have to learn this. And one thing that I learned was God wants me to love people. So I have to forgive because Jesus said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. They don't really know the underlying issue, right? They don't really truly know the root. They just acting on how they're acting or how they normally want to get something back. Or maybe they was conditioned to this as a kid, right? So now they're this way. They can't be seen as this, so they're going to do this to get that, to get what makes them feel better. So one thing that I learned was you can love a person from a distance, right? Because you know if you're around them, you might react. And you know if you're around them, you might get stressed. So instead of forcing yourself to be around them, try to get yourself to be a distance away from them. Try to love them from a distance. If they send a text in a way, you don't gotta respond. If they send that in that way and they trying to get you to react like you know they do or they would, catch it. Catch yourself. Keep yourself from reacting because you're giving them what they want. You're giving them what they need. You're giving them fuel. You're making them feel good. Don't let them use that part of you. Yes, continue to give love because of God, right? But at the end of the day, man, you got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself. So you have to allow a shield to be around you when you're around a narcissist. You need to be strategic. You need to understand and remember what they do and what they did, right? So that you can keep yourself from being that thing, because this is also teaching you self-control. This is also teaching you how to discipline your emotions, how to discipline your emotions, how to get your emotions under control, right? And this also might be God trying to help us learn how to gain more strength, right? It's trying to pull us to him, right? In a way, because you gotta go to God to help you in this situation. So again, not reacting is the key ingredient. Not responding is the key ingredient, right? Don't treat them evil. Don't treat them bad. And yes, we have to learn to forgive. But at the end of the day, that don't mean you gotta respond. Jesus didn't respond when Pontius Pilate asked him a question. Jesus didn't always respond, right? Not because he didn't love them, because he knew what they was trying to do. That's why. And you also got to do that. I had to do that. I still got to do it. I still have to. But back in the day, I was confused. I was stressed. My heart was racing. Now, man, I don't feel like that. Right now, I'm a little bit more strategic. Now I know what to expect, but I also know what to give. And I also know how to distance myself. Don't always go around that person. Or when you do, be prepared. Prepare yourself of what to do. You don't got to fight them. You don't got to hate them. You don't got to treat them wrong. Just understand that they don't know. They're a little bit confused also, right? And then don't react. Do not react. Do nothing. Because they want you to do that. They want everybody around you to look at you like you stupid. They want everybody around you to make it look like something's wrong with you because it's going to make them look better. Don't let them use you as a pawn, man. They will expose themselves when you don't react. When you don't react, you will have more discernment. When you don't react, you will feel better. So definitely discipline yourself to not react. And I ain't even gonna lie, because I used to react. And I used to react off of a lot of things because I don't like disrespect. I know a lot of y'all don't like disrespect. But at the end of the day, sometimes, man, you can't. It's better to not fight with someone or to not throw gas on the fire. It's better to put the fire out with water, and it's better to just not fight, because a person can't continue to fight you if you don't fight them. They're gonna get tired, right? They're not gonna have no energy, so they have to stop. So put the fire out. Don't do nothing. Let them fight themselves. That's the key ingredient. Learn how to do this. Do whatever you gotta do. Pray and ask God. Practice it off of the smallest thing. When people say the smallest thing to you, don't react. Don't respond. Smile maybe, nod your head maybe, you know what I'm saying? But do not react. The key thing is to not react. And that may be the hardest thing to do, but do not react. Again, this is based on my experience. Trust when I tell you this really works, because I learned this. This was the hardest thing. It took me years to figure this out. It took me years to even practice and learn, right? I'm still learning this because I might get tricked sometimes, right? But then I remember, then I feel better, and then I know what to do again. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to always be perfect at this. But again, as Christians, we are called to love, not to hate, not to fight, not to hold a grudge. We're called to love. We're called to forgive. We're called to understand. And to those who go against us, those who persecute us, those who treat us wrong. So again, sometimes you just got to relax. Just got to chill. Let them do what they do, and they'll expose themselves, man. Everybody will see it from them, right? Not from